Today we're checking out the brand new Google Home speaker and seeing how it stacks up to other Google products and what is new. A huge thank you to Google for providing a couple of these for me today so we can test it out and even try it with our new Google TV streamer. Let's get started. So first up, you can see the size, and I was surprised that it was much smaller. This is kind of just an amped up Google Home Mini, not a replacement for the Nest Audio. I'd say right off the bat, the Nest Audio does have better sound, and the Nest Audio is a directional speaker, where this is a 360-degree speaker like we've seen before on the other Google Home, the original Google Home and the Google Nest Minis and Google Home Mini. So first off, let's talk about what are some of the changes that this has based on the other speakers. Well, they're very similar. By default, this has Gemini now built into it. So you cannot, no matter what you do, you cannot use Google Assistant on the new Google Home speaker. When you go and set this up on your account, it will force you to upgrade to Google Gemini on your devices. And when you do that, it does it to all of your account. And so every device that you have will then receive the update to Google Gemini. Now, Google Gemini does not have a fee. There is no subscription fee just to use Gemini on your speaker. You buy the product, it comes with Gemini built in, and you can use it. There are only a couple features that you get with the subscription, which is called Google Home Premium, but out of the box, you will not have to sign up for a subscription to use the service. All you need to do is have Wi-Fi in your home to have this be connected to that so that it has access to the internet, so it can adjust your smart lights and give you responses, play music, all those different things. That is all you need. You do not need to pay a monthly subscription for that. And we're going to talk about the differences there as well. Now, the next difference is the look. You can see that it does have a very similar look, but it is also different, having this new round shape. Now, one of the things is the mesh is quite different. So as I was pulling this out, and you're not going to be picking this up much, but you can see that the holes on here are much bigger than previous mesh that we've seen before. So while it looks really nice, it is a little bit more movable. So I don't know if that means it could be less durable or the fabric could fail quicker. I'm not sure, but it just has a different feel when you pick it up. You will notice that. It still has the dots on here. So if you want to increase the volume, you go this way, decrease it, go that way. And on the bottom here, you will see that there is no longer lights on the top. It has this light ring on the bottom. So as you increase the volume, that increases the brightness. And there, as we decrease, it changes. So it's going to change color based on what you're asking it. If you mute it,
the mic's off. There,
it's going to show the orange color. You also have the option to turn off that if you want to keep it muted, but you don't want any lights on. So there are some features there that you have, but very similar to what we've seen before. Again, the mute down there, and then the buttons up at the top. And there is an action button right here on the top. So you can tap to pause and play, as well as snooze your alarms. And you can even use it to factory reset the device if you need to do that. Now let's do a quick comparison between the sound on the new Google Home speaker, the Nest Audio, as well as the Google Nest Mini. Now, after listening to those few songs, hopefully that gave you an understanding of how these are actually sounding. It's hard to replicate that at home, but if you have headphones or something, that might be best. So the Google Nest Mini had just kind of some basic sound, not too much bass there. That definitely improved whenever I went to the new Google Home speaker. And then it also just had a little bit more of a full sound and maybe was a little louder. Now, to my knowledge, I did have them all set at the same volume. And then going to the Nest Audio, I just feel like it was much more punchy and had a little bit better high notes and just more crisp sound. But I think this is going to be a very passable speaker. Interesting that this wasn't a little bit bigger. So overall, I think the new Google Home speaker is a good speaker, good quality, some good punchy bass in there, but it's better than the Nest Mini, but not much better than the Nest Audio, or not better at all. I still think this is kind of premium, and maybe you want a directional speaker pointing towards you instead of the 360-degree speaker. That could be a benefit of this, where you can place it in the middle of the room and more people are able to hear the sound. But hopefully they will make a little bit bigger speaker eventually, because this could be now paired with your Google TV streamer. So you can have this as a stereo sound system where this might not be as punchy or more than your TV. We will be testing it out in just a little bit. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the very unique things that you do get in the settings when you get the new Google Home speaker. So heading into the Google Home app, here you have the speaker. Just like normal, you can tap on it, you can change the volume, see what's playing, cast your audio from your Android phone. But if we jump into the settings, we have a few new things here. Now, things are always changing in here. So let's start by going down here into the audio. So all of these settings are pretty similar. You have default speaker, default TV, groups. But if we go down here under the voice and volume, we can now set a different voice volume than the music volume, which has been a request for many years. So I can change the volume here, and that's just going to change the volume of the Gemini voice and not just the speaker. So the next time I go and ask for music, it's going to keep the music at the same volume that I have the speaker set at, which is, you know, whatever it is here, and this is a different volume. Really awesome. You do have the option to just simply turn that off to keep the consistent voice volume, but really cool that that has finally been added. Now, they've always had a night mode where you can go in here and adjust the volume for nighttime so that your music isn't too loud at night, but I love that they have finally added that. If we go back, we also have the option for the light. So here we can adjust the total brightness of the lights on the speaker. And then if you do have the mic muted, you can come in here and turn off that so that the light isn't on if you don't want the speaker to be able to do voice commands. So that's pretty cool. Everything else is pretty similar. You have the accessibility where whenever you start a command, it can make a ding, understanding that it heard you, or when it finishes a command, it can make a ding letting you know that it's there. Now, everything else here is pretty similar, but they do have a new speaker tips option. So you can come in here and learn about controlling your speaker. One of the new things that has been added to Gemini is you do have the continued conversation. So if you ask a question, it will then keep listening after it gave a response, so you can ask another question, something that's really helpful to have, and that is free with Gemini. So with the speaker, you get that feature, but you have to turn it on. So if you go to the homepage of the Google Home app, tap on your profile picture, then we're gonna go down to Home Settings. And under here, you have a bunch of different settings, but under Gemini for home voice assistance, we can go in, and here we have a ton of other settings. Right here, we just have the continued conversation, and we can turn that on. So is how that works is when I start a command, it's gonna listen, and then the lights will stay on, indicating it's still listening to me. Hey Google, what's the weather tomorrow?
Tomorrow in Orem will be warmer than today, with sunny skies and a high of 82.
In Orem,
So there, the light is still on, indicating that it's still listening to me after the response. What about next Monday?
Next Monday, July 6th, will be a sunny day in Orem with a high of 94 and a low of 64.
Thank you. So then
Ending our chat.
So there, with a thank you or end conversation, that stops it from listening to you, or you can just ignore it and it usually will stop. But that is continued conversation. That's great that it has been added now to Gemini, which is a huge feature that was available on the Google Home, so that you don't have to continually say the wake word, which I haven't even talked about yet. If you're new to Google speakers, there are 2 words that you can say to wake it up, to talk to it. One of them, and I don't say them in my videos, so I'm just gonna say them on screen. One of them is, hey Google, and the other one is, okay Google. So if you say one of those commands, your Google Home speaker is going to be listening to you. And you can also tap the top to have it stop listening. Now, the reason I don't say those in my videos, because if you're watching my video and you have a speaker next to you, if I were to say that wake word, it will wake up your speaker and it will answer whatever I said. Even if I said gibberish, it will try and respond. It will make you really confused. So that is why in all of my videos, I will mute that so that your speakers do not hear me say the wake word and give a command in my video. So hopefully that is helpful to you. So now that we have our speaker here, it is running Gemini. It can do all kinds of commands, and Google has been making all kinds of updates that I'll be talking about more, where they've added tons of different automations you can do. But now let's go ahead and add another speaker and show how we can connect these in a stereo pair to our new Google TV streamer. Now, one thing I noticed, once I set this up and I turned on the TV streamer, it automatically recognized there was a speaker that could pair to it. I ignored it for now, but that was cool how it was instantly integrated once I had the speaker set up. So let's go ahead, get that other speaker going and jump over to the TV. Right here's our Google TV streamer. This is the latest Google TV device from Google. This is the only device currently that this will work with. We're just going to go up to the top here and go to our settings. And then we're going to go down to the audio output. And here we're going to connect to another device. And here under the remote and accessories, you have the sound option, which is Google speakers. So you get this get started option. And here I've connected two different speakers to my home. So here we have the Office left and we have the Office right. So we're going to select both of those speakers. And here it's saying that with two speakers, it's going to pair them as a stereo sound, or you could even just use one speaker. And this will replace the TV's audio with the speaker audio. Great. And here it's saying if the speakers aren't next to your TV, move them. So let's go ahead and do that. And here it's playing a sound from the left speaker. And now we can name the speakers. Let's call these TV speakers. And it's going to then connect them into a paired speaker group. Now we can go through the calibration for spatial audio. We can turn off spatial audio, then it will just be mono, but then we have the options to set how far away we are sitting from the TV and the speakers. We have the option to adjust how far away the speakers are from each other, and we can change from feet to meters. That all looks good. Let's go ahead and tap done. And now we have the TV speakers. So now if I change volume on my Google TV streamer, it's actually changing the volume on the speaker group as well. So we can use them together with the TV or without the TV. You also have the option to come over here and do a sync option. So if it's not syncing with the speaking, you can adjust the millisecond latency here. So we are done. Over here, we can go back to adjust the spatial audio settings and so on. Let's go ahead and do an audio test. There you go, that works great. So let's go ahead and do a test between the TV and the speakers. First, let's start with the TV speakers, and this is going to be showing off the left and right channel. So I could hear that from the speakers. Let's go ahead and change it to the TV speaker group. And you can do that by holding down the home button, going to the audio output, and quickly changing from TV default to TV speakers. So that was much more pronounced, having the speaker separated on left and right. And then when everything is just mono or center channeled, it sounds like it's right in the center. So definitely you can hear that better. Let's go ahead and play something to just hear the overall quality between the TV and the speakers. All right, so just with the Disney logo, you can definitely tell there's way more bass with the Google Home speakers paired together. Now I'll say my TV probably can get louder than the speakers just in this setup. So it really just depends on how's your TV, is your TV good at all? Or if it's not bad, this could definitely improve the situations you have in your home. Now let's talk about the Google Home speaker with Gemini that comes with it and the Google Home Premium version, and to show you what is different. So first off, pretty much everything is the same that you would want to do on a daily basis. But the first main feature that you get with the Google Home Premium version is a feature called Let's Chat or Gemini Live. This allows you to have more in-depth conversations than just simple ask a question. It gives you a response. and so on. So over here, I think we have the free version, and so I'm going to unmute it. Now, to all the Gemini compatible speakers, they have now added continued conversation. So you can turn this on with your Google Home speakers you have right now that have Gemini, but when you ask a question, it gives a response. Then the lights turn back on, waiting for another question. So it's just kind of one and then the other. First, let's try out the free Google Gemini. Hey Google, add pens to my shopping list.
Creating your shopping list with pens.
Okay, so there it actually created a shopping list and added pens to it. But you see the white light that's indicating it's still listening to me. Add butter to the shopping list.
Adding butter to your shopping list.
Thank you. So
You're welcome.
There you go. So there it was, a one-to-one conversation. I said something, it said something. It waited for me. I said something, it said something. Then you can use thank you or end conversation to close it. Now let's go ahead and mute this one.
The mic's back on.
And for those curious, this is on a different account that doesn't have Google Home Premium, and this one does. Let's do the same thing. Hey Google, add pens to my shopping list.
Adding pens to your shopping list.
Thank you. So the same exact thing is going to happen on here because that's still the continued conversation that both get. Is what's different is a feature called Let's Chat. Hey Google, let's chat.
I'd love to. What would you like to talk about? I can help you manage your notes and lists.
I want to know, what is the best pen you think is available?
Choosing the best pen depends on whether you prefer the convenience of a ballpoint or the experience of a fountain pen. For a reliable, everyday metal pen with a great click, the Parker Jotter is an iconic choice. If you want something extremely smooth and fast-drying for daily note-taking, the Uniball Jetstream is widely considered the best hybrid ballpoint. For those interested in fountain pens, the Lamy Safari is a fantastic, durable entry point, while the Lamy 2000 remains a top-tier favorite for many as a professional workhorse. Do you have a preference for fountain pens or ballpoints?
I think I like a ballpoint, but I want to make sure that it can click open and close. Do those pens do that?
Yes, the Parker Jotter is a classic click-action ballpoint, and many other high-quality pens use a similar mechanism. Do you prefer a pen that has a heavy, weighted feel in your hand, or something a bit lighter for longer writing sessions?
I'm supposed to be able to interrupt it, but that's not working. Can I add the Parker Jotter to my shopping list?
Adding Parker Jotter to your shopping list.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
That's it. So there, it was very conversational, too much speaking, and I've heard I'm supposed to be able to interrupt it and it will listen, but maybe I have my volume set too high. But there you could kind of get a feel of the difference. This allows you to have full-on conversation one-to-one. I didn't have to wait for a command, or it didn't have to wait for me to respond. It just was kind of like asking me new questions to follow up, and I could respond with anything. You can even change the conversation at any point so that it gets more details and so on. But there, it could even add to my shopping list without having to close and start the conversation again. So those are kind of the differences. I think most people are going to be just fine with the free version, continued conversation. The Let's Chat feature is just kind of a bonus you get if you already have Google Home Premium. Now, there are a couple of other reasons why you would want to have Google Premium with your Google Home Premium with your speaker, is because you have access to search your camera history. So I have a bunch of Google Nest cameras, and now with Google Home Premium, it's taking everything that it sees in my camera and it could tell me about it. So let's see if I can see when my lawnmower last mowed. Hey Google, when did the camera see my lawnmower?
Okay, searching your cameras now. This will take a few moments.
So that is a feature that does not work on the free version, but it's going through and looking at all my history.
The camera saw your robotic lawnmower yesterday at 1:10 p.m. when Brett picked it up from the backyard.
Okay, there you go. Backyard camera. I was testing out a lawnmower back there. It saw it, and there you go. Let's try this one. Has the doorbell seen the mailman today?
Looking at your cameras. Give me a second.
This is kind of a challenging one because it drives by so fast, but you can ask it when
No,
Amazon...
the doorbell hasn't seen the mailman today. It did, however, see people walking by on the sidewalk at 8:11 a.m., 8:46 a.m., and 9:34 a.m.
And you can ask about animals and all kinds of things. So anything the camera sees and like tells you it specifically saw a person or something, it will be able to be searched through the history by voice, which I think is a pretty cool feature. If you have a Nest display, it actually lets you view that event, but you can do it here on a Google Home speaker. Now, the other features you get with Google Home Premium is at the end of the day in the Google Home app, you will get a home brief. So it kind of talks about like a little paragraph of all the things that happen during the day, from the info from your cameras, maybe turning off some lights and things. So that's kind of a unique thing. And then you also get the option to have it detect smoke alarms. So it can just listen for smoke alarms and then notify you if it hears one, as well as it can listen for glass breaking and notify you of that as well. So some pretty cool features, but not like you have to have those to be able to have a great experience on your Google Home speaker. Everything else that this is great at, being able to cast to this device, using it to do things with your calendar, asking it questions, sending things to the TV, all of that comes out of the box with Gemini, and it will always have those available without needing to pay a subscription. So I already have it with my camera, so it's great that I have access to it. But if you don't need any of those extra things, the Google Home speaker is going to be great with Gemini without having the Google Home Premium subscription. Hey Google, add a Google logo to my shirt. Whoa, how'd that happen? After spending some time listening to the difference between the TV and the speakers, I would say having the speaker pair added a much more rich and warm sound to watching TV on the show. Like I said, it's probably not going to get as loud, but I felt the overall experience was better with these speakers. Could they be better? Yes. Could they be bigger and louder? Also, yes. So maybe eventually we'll see that, but I think this is great that we finally have Google Home speakers that can pair and super easily pair to the Google TV streamer. I love how you could easily change it if you needed to. Maybe you're listening on your headphones, you want to switch to these speakers or something. It's very easy to do that on the Google TV streamer. Now, there are a couple other options you get when you have a stereo pair like this that you can adjust. So going into the TV speakers, up here you have this icon. In this option, we have the chance to increase the bass or decrease the bass or the treble. So depending on how you want your sound to be. And then you can also adjust the balance. If you're finding it's too heavy on the right or too heavy on the left, you can adjust that as well. So that's cool that you can do that all within a stereo pair. I'm really glad this feature has been added, and this can definitely help you in your home if you're having a bad audio experience with the current TV that you have. Now, one more thing I want to show you is other things that you can ask your Google Home speakers. There's pretty much an unlimited thing, but let's show you in the app how you can kind of look and see what you can do. So if you go into your speakers, I already showed you the option for speaker tips, but if we just tap on here, you can go through here and it will give you some ideas. So you can go through the topics on Gemini Live, or you can talk about playing media. So just playing media directly on here. You can ask it different questions and get answers to. Here you can manage different tasks in your home. Here you have the option to control your smart home devices. And here you have the option to plan your day. So a ton of different things that you can use. One of them I'm mostly using is controlling my smart home. Let's see if there's anything in this room it can control. Turn off the office wall. There you go. Took a little
Turning
bit of
off the
time
devices
there.
in the office wall, but some of those lights are offline.
It tells you some are offline. It did take a time. Now they have improved that 40% of the latency that was seen there, and hopefully we'll see a little bit more improvement over time. But I have all kinds of devices offline back here. Let's try turning it back on. Hey Google, turn on the office wall. There you go. That has been turned back on.
Turning on those devices, but some of those lights are offline.
Other things we also use our Google speakers for is asking it to set timers. You can set a timer with specific names like kitchen timer or pizza timer, and then it has little sounds that it plays depending on the timer, which is really fun. We use it to play music. You can ask it to play all kinds of different sounds, and it is really fun just to have around your home. and it helps you get things done. So I'm really excited for these new speakers. It's kind of a rebirth of the Google Home platform. I think it's been 12 years since I introduced that on the channel. So great to have a new speaker, new things to try out. And I'm really excited to see what is added in the future, because Gemini has definitely added more things quicker than Google Assistant. Some of those being you now can use Gemini in many more languages and countries than you could with Google Assistant. So it's great to see they are improving there, but they have a bunch of other improvements to make, and we'll be finding those out. So overall, I think the Google Home speaker is a great addition to your home. It does cost a little more than a mini, but you're gonna have a more full, rich sound that it comes from. And if you already have Google Home speakers, you don't need to buy one of these to get the Gemini experience. That is already available. You just need to make sure you sign up for early access in the Google Home app. It will then be added to your account shortly after. So if you have any further questions about the Google Home speaker or how to use the Google platform, please let me know down in the comments below. And I will be doing a full series on all the things that you can do with your Google Home speaker and your Google Home smart home platform. So make sure you hit subscribe down below, and you can check out those videos right over here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.